I forget, I've never been so frightened in my life. He put us all in the closet. He took my mother and all the three kids of us. He shoved us in the closet and closed the door on us and told us, don't move, stay in there. And he went down onto the floor and he hid under the house with his shotgun. And the head writer started calling him by name, calling my father by name. Come out here. We want to talk with you. Come out here. And my father didn't answer. So being dark, he had crawled under the house and he crawled right up underneath the horse where this guy was sitting and stuck the shotgun in his belly and said, call them off. If you don't call them off, I'm going to blow your guts out. One side of our quarters were the ladies of the evening, and we lived in the other side of the quarters. And we had many interesting stories about the ladies of the evening. I'm sure he touched on that, I'm sure, in his thing.
But you haven't touched on
I
it.
haven't touched on
So
that.
please tell me about
Well,
when you would encounter these other women.
Yes, it mostly was during evening when they would use our wives, the wives of the black soldiers lived in the one end of that building, and the ladies of the evening lived in the other end of the building. But the men's showers were in the building in the end where the ladies of the evening lived. So we figured the men were taking a lot of showers. So we wives got together and said, okay, they taking a lot of, cause the ladies of the evening would come in when the men were showering and they would shower with the men. We heard about that, so we decided we're gonna have a sentry. So we wives got together and one wife would sit in a chair outside of the men's shower to make sure our husband took a shower and came back out of it as soon as he finished his shower. It was in the 60s, and early 60s.
Your husband was in uniform?
He was in uniform, and we were going to Louisiana, to my home, and to visit. And we were traveling, you know, through Mississippi to get to Louisiana. And we stopped at a filling station in Mississippi. And the guy at the, my husband asked for the key to the restroom. And the guy got all flustered and said, you can't use the restroom. Now my husband in uniform, an officer, and he wouldn't give him the key to use the restroom. So we thought that was kind of strange. So I told him, look, you know, we don't have to go, just, you know, get the gas and let's leave. So as we were leaving, he noticed that the windshield looked awful dark. The guy had used the dip rag, you know, and he had done the whole front of the windshield with the grease rag on the car. And he kept saying, I can't see out of here. He said, that windshield is, you know. So we pulled off, and he took out his handkerchief, and I had some baby diapers or something in the back, and we cleaned the windshield. So we going on down the highway, and we'd gone about maybe 5 or 10 miles. And we hear this loud, we thought we'd blown a tire. And he looked up, and it was a bullet hole about this far above his head, that if the shot had come directly in, it would have hit him between the eyes. And we know that somebody at that filling station called ahead